Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a Monster Legends video on the newest Warmaster. That's right, did you think the Warmasters were done and finished with? Nope, we have one final Warmaster, Warmaster Ragnarok. Big surprise, right? So this Warmaster, I don't think the lore's actually out, so we'll wait and you can kind of depict the lore based on this monster's skills and stuff. But let's jump right into this monster. I can't wait to talk about this monster. He is truly something else. The monster design is epic. It's definitely, it kind of feels like it doesn't fit in Monster Legends. It's definitely unique. The monster itself is unique. The skills, everything about this monster is so darn cool. But let's just start with the stats. So on the top right corner, you can see the power. This monster has a power of 3,696 at level 100. So here's the thing about this monster power. It is the second highest power stat in the whole entire game. It's actually tied with Talos the Island Protector, 3696. If I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken, let me know in the comments below. Because I believe maybe I missed a different monster. But yeah, super high power stat. And it's second to Rador, who dominates with a power of 3850. But nonetheless, this monster is super powerful. And take a look at that life stat, 40,112. That is a super high life stat. Now, it's not necessarily the highest in the game. There's so many tanky monsters. You know, Sergeant Hawhead, Fatsid, they have a life of well above 45,000. In terms of Warmasters, Remtar, Elvira, Babari, Barbell, and Thalassa, they all have a higher life stat than Ragnarok, but they don't match his power. And then, as for his speed stat, he's quite a fast monster. 3,553, this is the 6th highest speed stat in the game. I'm not saying he's the 6th fastest monster, but the stat itself is the 6th highest. That's because there's plenty of monsters that have that, 3,575 speed stat. But nonetheless, super fast monster. In terms of Warmasters, the only ones faster than Ragnarok are Sherazar and Barbeau. And yeah, he even outpaces Thalassa. So, stats-wise, incredible. What I find to be even more incredible and phenomenal, whoops, zoomed in too much. Well, first of all, here, let's take a look at this monster design up close. Because look at that, isn't just beautiful. Fantastic monster design. They did a really great job. But with that being said, let's take a look at his trait. Warmaster Ragnarok. True Vision. True Vision was introduced with Sherazar. If you've had the chance to play with Sherazar, True Vision with Sherazar basically makes it so all of your monsters don't miss any attack. They land all of their attacks guaranteed. Even if it's a 50% chance to deny, it pretty much always lands. Even against monsters that have Bulwark or Hardened or a tough trait. If it's a 100% chance to land and the monster has Bulwark, you're pretty much always landing deny. So True Vision is incredible. This means that Ragnarok's attacks, they will not be missing. Now, unless you're like blinded and sunburned and total blind and minor blind, whatever it may be. But as long as Ragnarok has no negative ailment on him, he's going to land all of his attacks. Even against, once again, if the enemy monster has Hardened or tough or bulwark, you're still going to be landing your attack and your deny skill or your torture skill, and this is important. The second thing this monster has is anticipation. Oh my goodness, you know how incredible anticipation is? Especially with all the churn transferring out there, with all the single churn transfer or extra churn skills I should say, against Charmless, Voltix, Xyla, anyone that can attack endlessly. Not when Ragnarok is on the field, they are going to have to think twice before doing an extra churn skill. And this is great because this means that Ragnarok doesn't need to be a 3-speed monster. No, you can give him a strength rune, you can give him a life rune, and you probably will need to give him a life rune because if you have a Ragnarok, even at level 100, and you're facing players that have level 130 monsters with high level runes, your Ragnarok is going to need to find a way to survive. And survive he will. He has a tanky life, you give him a life rune, you let anticipation do the work for you, you don't need to go first. If the enemy's planning to do a cheap Elvira Charmless combo and they think they're going to win, I don't know, your defense might say something else. Because keep in mind, even if they try to do like Elvira for the team evasion and then as soon as Charmless or Volta gets a turn in they can attack endlessly, or let's say that's their defense or whatever, if Ragnarok gets a turn in, when anticipation kicks in, you're going to be able to use one of the skills to maybe kill that Charmless, that Volta, whoever it may be. So anticipation, it's so powerful, especially the fact that you don't need high level runes to utilize this monster. And on top of that, he has Hardened, 20% chance to not get hit with any negative effects. That's awesome. So you're not missing anything. Anticipation on top of that and Hardened. And then this is what like icing on the cake. It's honestly, without having a status caster, I would have loved Ragnarok. I think his trait is already probably one of the best. And then they made it even better, but they also added some mystery into it, where it's a random Warmaster status caster. So the way I interpret this, is that you take a look at the other War Masters and you look at what status casters they apply, and Ragnarok can basically, he'll apply a random status caster at the start of the battle. So maybe you'll get Team Evasion, maybe you'll get 100% damage return, maybe you'll get Skill Mirror, maybe you'll get Torture Immunity, which I guess would be the lamest of the bunch, but still, it's not really that bad considering your whole team will be immune to torture effects. But yeah, it's really, you're after that Elvira trait, you're after, or status caster, you're after that Remtar, Skill Mirror, even the Damage Mirror, all those would be nice. So what I like about this is that every single battle is going to be sort of unique and different. Sometimes you might like luck out and get that status caster you needed. Sometimes you may not get a good one. But honestly, even without this random status caster thing, like this monster's still cool. Like again, True Vision, Anticipation, Harden, that is a tough trait to beat. It's definitely, it might be the best. You know, Anticipation is great, and then being able to land all of your attacks and all of your deny, that's incredible. But now let's talk about skills, and this is where this monster becomes more incredible and where the synergy with Anticipation and True Vision really kicks in. Because if this monster had Anticipation and True Vision but had terrible skills, there'd be nothing worth looking at, right? But no, his skills are awesome. I was about to say ultimate because his ultimate is awesome too. Alright, so tier 1, this is skills group 1. He has World of Pain, deals moderate special damage to one enemy, applies random torture to one enemy, applies a random torture to one enemy. So this either means he has a double chance to apply a torture, so at the end the monster will probably end up with 2 torture effects, I'm assuming. Yeah, unless it's going to apply a random torture to one enemy and a random torture to a random enemy monster. Not entirely sure. This one's like iffy. It's a special based, 2-turn cooldown, 28 stamina. They are weak. Removes positive effects from one enemy, deals moderate special damage. This one's rather meh. And then Death Door. Removes 75% of total life from one enemy, requires cooldown. Bam. It has a high stamina cost, 79. But just like that, doesn't matter how tanky the monster is, doesn't matter how many life runes they have, doesn't matter, none of that matters. It's just 75% of their total life down the drain. That's pretty incredible. Even though running a strength rune and running Death Door, even though that would have no inherent benefit, it's still good because with Anticipation, again, against an extra turn monster, a Triumphus, whatever it may be, you can take away 75% of their life, and then on the next turn, you can knock them out with an attack. Because I don't believe this will trigger relics, if I'm not mistaken. Because I don't think this counts as the, because you know when a monster has a healing mask, it's after a monster's hit and it drops below 50%, then the healing mask activates. Thanks to Death Door, I do believe you can take away 75% without the healing mask activating, and then you can take them out. Not entirely sure. If I'm wrong, you guys can correct me in the chat below, because right now I'm just all these ideas are flowing through my head with what you're going to be able to do with this monster. Oh, and here's another thing. I'll wait till the end. No, I'll say it now. I feel like this monster got a huge buff, given the fact that we now can change skills for free. So in the past, you know, it's hard to decide what skills to choose. You have to pay 20 gems if you want to swap skills. That really sucks. With Ragnarok having such a diverse set of skills, the fact that we can change skills at our choosing for free without any penalty means that you can design Ragnarok to fit a specific scenario. So if you're doing a PvP battle and you need a specific skill over another skill, you can swap it out. If you put Ragnarok on defense, you can give him a skill set for defense and then switch it for offense, and you can swap out the little skills you need. And here's something that you're going to notice real quick. Nature, thunder, light, metal, fire. He has a skill for every element. So if you need him to have an elemental advantage over another monster, you swap the skill, just like that. So this monster gets an inherent buff just with being allowed to switch skills for free. So that's awesome. Alright, let's go over to tier 2. And this is where you start to see where his lore is going to come in. Where it's like he took the best from all the War Masters. Mother Nature's Energy. Deals moderate nature damage to one enemy, applies life regen, and damage mirror. Whoa, so not only does your whole entire team get a life regeneration, they also return any damage they may receive from the enemy monsters. Damage mirror is actually really nice when the enemy monsters are super high leveled. We're talking like 130 with level 10 runes, and they're attacking you, your level 100, 115 monsters. Because the higher level monster is, the more damage they deal against a non-ranked up monster. And so you get to basically just reflect that back to the enemy. So that's quite significant. And you get life regen, so you can take more hits. Barbarian's Warcry. Deals moderate thunder damage. I wonder whose skill that is. Apply shock to one enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself. So this monster even has an extra turn skill, and he can apply shock. And as you all know, shock makes it so the enemy can't do extra turn skills. And this also actually counters anticipation. So if you're fighting a Necromancer, yeah, Necromancer, he has anticipation. he stole the anticipation trait from Necromancer. If you're fighting a Necromancer or any monster that you know has extra turn skills, with your Ragnarok, you can apply shock to them, thus preventing them from their own anticipation trait activating, especially because you gave yourself an extra turn. So Barbarian's Warcry is in itself a counter to a Ragnarok on defense, if that makes sense, right? Because you can do Warcry against another Ragnarok, that shock will prevent the anticipation trait from kicking in, and you get yourself a free extra turn. And again, even if a Voltic or Charmless, if they go first and they attack you, doesn't matter, you can apply shock. And if you're thinking, well, armor, you're not going to land it because they have hardened trait, doesn't matter, you have your true vision trait, so you will land the shock on the enemy, so you will prevent the enemy from being able to utilize extra turn skills. So I like this a lot. It's actually quite significant. And again, maybe you don't need it in every situation, but considering you can swap out skills at your leisure, there's definitely going to be times where, especially if you have this monster unranked, you can swap it out and use it to counter any extra turn base. Even like if you're fighting a Demise and Demise turn, like I'm in a war right now where we're fighting a 130 Demise, and I'm like, oh, I can't outspeed Demise. I know she's going to Strength from Beyond into Charmless and I'm going to get destroyed, or whoever she may turn transfer into. Well, thanks to me having anticipation trait, I would get the churn after Demise does Strength from Beyond, and I will apply shock to the enemy Charmless, and you know, it's so cool if you can use it, if you can use this monster against a specific monster in war. So really great skill actually. Archangel's Blessing deals moderate light damage to an enemy, heals all allies by 30%, removes all negative effects from all allies, and if that wasn't enough, you also give yourself evasion. So you protect yourself, remove negative effects, and everyone heals by 30%. The self evasion, really nice. After you do the shock, you can protect yourself until the following turn while healing all of your team and removing negative effects. These two skills I really love, and of course the damage mirror and the life regen I really love too. Moving on to tier 3. Ooh, Blacksmith's Masterpiece. Deals moderate metal damage to one enemy, applies nanovirus to one enemy, applies skill mirror to all allies. So, skill mirror to all allies, hey, he stole this from Remtar. And you also apply nanovirus to one enemy monster. Nanovirus will prevent the enemy from applying buffs on themselves. Really great. And again, the skill mirror, this is probably one of his top tier skills, I would say at tier 3. Especially if, instead of doing the shock combo, if you're fighting a Voltic or a Charmless, we'll say, you get yourself an extra turn thanks to your anticipation trait, you give your team skill mirror, and that way when Voltic does static shocks against you, you reflect it, and you get the extra turn, which is awesome. So, anytime you have skill mirror and anticipation, it just works wonderfully. So, amazing. This is just, there's no way to say it, this is amazing. Yeah, it's crazy good. And Demon's Flame deals heavy fire damage to an enemy, disables trait, and applies total blind. You even can stop, well this is stolen from Barbell, you can stop artifact monsters, you can stop, it doesn't matter what trait the enemy monster has, because you trait disable, thanks to your true vision trait, where is it? Thanks to your true vision trait, your trait disable will work all the time, 100% guaranteed, and the total blind will land 100% guaranteed. So if you're fighting like a 130 Flamarion, and you just straight disable and blind them, and then if this monster's ranked up, you can further deny. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, this is great. This monster can trade disable and deny. Grandmaster's Wisdom deals heavy magic damage, applies curse to one enemy, activates all cooldowns on one enemy. Stolen from Charizard, obviously. We have the cursed torture effect. We have the cooldown activated. Another great way to deny. So you can deny with cooldown activated. You can trade disable and total blind. Nanovirus and skill mirror for the whole team. Again, healing by 30%, removing negative effects, self-evasion, shock to stop extra turn monsters and anticipation monsters, immediate extra turn to yourself. Also a great way to deal damage. There's 40 here, and you can do 50 or even 60. Oh wait, sorry, that was skills group 4. So 50, 50, 40. Stamina not that bad, and again, metal, fire, magic. He has different elements, because he basically has some of the best Warmaster's gimmicks, so to speak. And now let's talk about tier 4, where this monster just goes on to a whole new level. We're going to start with No More Failures. This costs only 23 stamina, has a 3-turn cooldown. This removes all negative status effects, and it gives 100% life and stamina to one ally, and it gives 1 extra turn to one ally. What the heck is this skill? This skill is it's a basic turn transfer skill, right? Except this monster reminds me a lot of Necromancer. I feel like he stole the most from Necromancer. Necromancer at rank 1 has a turn transfer skill, and it's so vanilla, it's so basic, people don't really like it. And I argue that it's actually really great on Necromancer because he has anticipation. Well, Ragnarok has anticipation too, but if you're able to rank him up to rank 1, you get a turn transfer skill that removes negative effects, which is great if your ally was stunned, frozen, possessed, any negative effect, total blind, maybe he had a torture effect that would have killed him next turn. You also recover 100% of the life, so that monster, and all of 100% of stamina, so that monster is brand new. Just brand new, it's incredible. And they get an immediate extra turn. That's crazy. And again, this monster can synergize, because given the random status caster, right? If that random status caster happens to be Remtars, the skill mirror at the start of the battle, if you do no more failures, whatever monster you turn transfer into, thanks to the skill mirror, it'll reflect it back to your Ragnarok, so your Ragnarok will get an extra turn, and that other monster will get an extra turn. Or, if on the previous turn you're able to activate, which one was it? It was skills group 3. If you're able to do Blacksmith Masterpiece and give your whole team skill mirror, again, same combo on your next turn, maybe the enemy did an extra turn, and then your Ragnarok goes, you can activate that yourself. So this skill right here, Blacksmith's Masterpiece and No More Failures, they have synergy to allow you to basically double that extra turn. It's crazy. This is good. This is phenomenal. It's amazing. It's, yeah, you don't get a damage boost like with Sammy, but you get a restore, a stamina restore, a life restore, and you clear negative effects. Great turn transfer. If you get Ragnarok, you are definitely going to want to rank him up to rank 1 to get this skill. And let me skip to Undead's Ritual. So you're going to want this monster at rank 3. Once again, I feel like this is stolen from Necromancer, because Necromancer does the same thing. Except, Necromancer, I don't believe, buffs the ally. But Necromancer can revive a monster and give him an immediate extra turn. Well, Ragnarok stole that from him too, because look at this. Resurrects one ally with 50% life, applies double damage, and 1 extra turn. How powerful is that? If you have a dead ally, bring it back to life, give it double damage, and an immediate extra turn, that monster is going to kill. So, like, Ragnarok becomes a huge main threat. If you're fighting him at rank 3, you better be careful who you kill first. If you kill the enemy attacker, well, Ragnarok may just bring him back, and that monster getting an immediate turn in. So yeah, definitely you're gonna have to be super careful about that. And yeah, that is straight from Necromancer, right? That's a dark based attack. But even this is straight from Necromancer. Anyway, Queen's Call, this is from Thalassa, removes positive effects from one enemy, deals heavy water damage, and applies Mega Freeze. So a single Mega Freeze. So after you trade disable, where was it? Barbarian's Warcry, no, Demon's Flare, Barbell. After you trade disable and Total Blind, on the next turn, if you happen to have this monster rank 2, you can even go ahead and Mega Freeze that monster. If the monster has evasion, doesn't matter, you remove positive effects first, then you deal some water damage, and then you Mega Freeze. So you shut down an enemy monster for 2 turns. And this is why I also said, against a Charmless, Voltic, Xyla, any extra turn monster, thanks to your anticipation trait, you can deny them. Voltic, you can Mega Freeze Voltic if you have this monster at rank 2. And yes, Mega Freeze will land because you have the True Vision trait. So these two traits together, they have so much synergy, it's insane. Especially with this denial. Well, single denial, right? And then skipping to the last one, Dwarf Stomp. This skill is quite amazing. It deals heavy earth damage and applies Mega Stun to one enemy. But the cool thing is you also protect your whole entire team, because your whole entire team gets immunity to control. So this is stolen right from Gortok, the first Warmaster we ever saw. Crazy, right? You can Mega Stun an enemy monster. Once again, thanks to your True Vision, it will land. Thanks to your anticipation, even if you're not the fastest monster in the game, if the enemy is dumb enough to use an extra turn monster, you got them. You can Mega Stun whoever you want and protect your whole team from getting denied. Crazy. But even without this skill, or the, gosh, you really want this monster at rank 3 to be able to utilize the resurrection. That's when Ragnarok becomes a huge threat. But yeah, even without this, or Queen's Call, I think if you can get this monster at rank 1, the one with the turn transfer skill, given that random status caster could be Remtar's skill mirror, given the fact that you have a team skill mirror, oh my gosh, the synergy, so much synergy. I will say though, even though he looks like, oh my gosh, overpowered, I don't think this monster's overpowered. If you notice, he doesn't have any AoE skills. No AoE deny, no AoE Mega Stun, no AoE Mega Freeze like Thalassa. AoE Freeze, no trade disable, AoE Freeze like Thalassa. So yeah, he doesn't have that going for him. No AoE cooldown activated, no AoE random deny, plus random torture, plus positive effect for your whole team like Charizard. So he doesn't have a deny skill. You could arguably better that a 130 Thalassa might be better than this monster. Or even like Barbell, right? 130 Barbell, super fast, has extra turn skills, can trade disable total blind. So I would say there's huge arguments to say that the other War Masters are technically better, but I would say that the True Vision and Anticipation trait alone are just too powerful to ignore. This monster, I do not think he's OP. I think Social Point did a really great job at balancing this monster out by not giving him any crazy AoE damage skills, or by not giving him any crazy AoE deny skills like Thalassa. Seriously, when Thalassa was introduced in the game and I got to play test with her, I was like, what the heck is this monster? And Barbell too, like, the fact that he's so fast, the fact that he can total blind, and he has trade disable extra turn skills, but you gotta rank him up all the way. And same with Thalassa too, like, a lot of players aren't gonna be having those monsters fully ranked up. And the cool thing about Ragnarok is you don't need to have them fully ranked up. I seriously think rank 3 is probably like ideal for most players. Yeah, it'd be nice to have that Mega Stomp, but you don't really need to utilize it. And really at rank 1, I think he's good. And even at level 100, with just tier 3 skills, you're gonna have so much trouble deciding what skills to give him, even unranked. Like, do you want Death Door? Do you want the damage mirror? Do you want the extra turn skill? What do you want on Ragnarok? I don't know. And then the ultimate 3 Horsemen removes on negative effects from all allies. Your whole team gets evasion. All right, let's read that again. All negative effects are gone. Your whole team gets evasion. You get protect positive effects, meaning the evasion cannot be removed. And you get double damage, meaning double damage cannot be removed. This is probably what I would call an overpowered ultimate. You can't do anything against this ultimate. If there was a torture effect, let's say Curse was on the turn 3 when it was about to take 40% of your HP. Nope, negative effects are gone. Let's say you were stunned, frozen, denied, whatever. Nope, it's gone. Your whole team gets evasion, meaning no more denying, no more DOT, no more damage. That's gone. You get positive protection. Protect positive effects. So you can't remove any of that. And you get double damage. So all of your monsters are going to be buffed with evasion. They get a guaranteed turn in. This is a game-changing ultimate. Like, you might win as soon as you get 3 Horsemen and it triggers. You're probably going to win the battle. Unless you're not running, unless your attacker's dead, or unless... It's kind of hard to lose given this. I mean, just the fact that you get a guaranteed turn in, it's crazy. Great ultimate, phenomenal ultimate. This is definitely... Is it OP or is it like borderline OP? Because if you run the standard build that most people run a fast monster with 3 speed runes, and then they have at least one monster that has 3 team speed. So if that's the case, like, they're not really killers, maybe they have a lot of support skills. But no, just the fact that your deny monster gets another turn at deny, and assuming they have stamina, your attacker, if he's alive, gets a turn to attack with double damage. Gosh, 3 Horsemen is crazy. But yeah, overall, I really don't think this monster is overpowered. I do think he's by far the most unique monster Social Point has ever released. He's definitely fascinating, beautiful monster design, great stats all around, and just so darn unique. The trait though, I'm curious, what do you guys think about the trait? Because I can't think of a monster that has a better trait. I really can't think of a monster that's better, and I'm mostly looking at the War Masters. I feel like Anticipation and True Vision is too powerful. The True Vision alone is powerful because you're not going to be missing damage or effects. And Anticipation on top of that, like, come on, like, how do you take down a Ragnarok? Well, don't use extra turn, that's for sure. And I guess deny him, right? Try to deny him. But what about that random Warmaster status caster? What do you do about that? Like, every battle's gonna be different. If you fight Ragnarok on defense, one of the battles he might activate Elvira's status caster evasion. One of the battles he might do Remtar's skill mirror, and then you're in trouble because you weren't expecting that. And I guess you're always gonna have to bring a monster that can remove positive effects. But this monster better be able to remove positive effects and get some sort of extra turn. Like Bellbreath? I think Bellbreath can do that. But then, wait a minute, Ragnarok has Anticipation. So you're gonna guarantee Ragnarok a turn. Oh, this is gonna be tough. What if you fight a Remtar and a Ragnarok? Because keep in mind with Remtar, you don't take damage unless it's for special based attack. No, you don't take damage from special based attacks and the skill mirror. Oh gosh. Oh, this is gonna be a challenge. Also, I probably should have started with this, but keep in mind that this monster isn't officially released. So if something changes, it's still possible. Official information should be out later this week, hopefully. So just take this with a grain of salt, but it's also fun to just speculate, start talking about this monster. What do you like about him so far? What don't you like about him so far? Do you think he's overpowered? Because I honestly don't think so. I seriously think that they did a really good job at balancing, primarily by not giving him AoEs. If he had AoEs, ooh, we'd be playing a different tune. But I think without the AoEs, and just a bunch of single targets that aren't really that powerful. Yeah, he has a high power, but 40, 50 at most. Like, I think, looking at this monster, I want to run him as a rainbow build, primarily because I know mine's only going to be level 100 or 105. So, considering I face ranked up monsters all the time with high level runes, I need a life rune so he stays alive. Considering he has Anticipation, I know I can give him a strength rune, so when he attacks the enemy, he can deal damage. And I want to give him a speed rune so he's not too slow where he doesn't do anything. Cause yeah, otherwise he's just going to be sitting there. Alternatively, you could also give him 3 team speed to supplement your main denier. So, you know, different ways to use him. But I kind of feel like Rainbow gets his best usage. You know, maybe if he was fully ranked up level 10, you could talk about 3 speed and start off with that Mega Stun and Torch and Anti-Deny, you know, immunity to control effects. Maybe you could do that. But I feel like a life is almost needed, especially if you can get him at rank 3 for that revival. So then he's hard to take down and he can revive. So it's definitely going to be different depending on how much you're actually able to get this monster, how many cells, how far you're able to rank him up. But I'm really liking, I don't like him so much as a pure attacker because obviously single hits. He's really useful to fight a Remtar considering you have different skills to choose from, not only special based attacks. Like I've gotten into so many battles where I bring Barakor and I fight a Remtar. And if I don't kill Remtar with my Earth-based attack, Barakor only has a 60 or a 70 and a 75 special base attack, so he can't do anything against any of Remtar's teammates. So Ragnarok, great monster. Don't think he's OP. But yeah, let's start talking about him. Whatever thoughts you have on Ragnarok, let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, I will see you all next time.